Right. I think the recording is started. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So last time I briefly walked you through Innamal Usri Yusra, the wisdom behind that ayah, very, very briefly. So I want to reiterate that little bit in this meeting, inshallah, again, because I've just formulated some visual aspect to this, so you really understand it. The second thing is we want to discuss the study of number, the second property of ism today, inshallah. Okay? And then the third is I want to hear your thoughts around how do you want to plan Ramadan? I mean, what I want, because it's a very good point in time. I mean, we have about 2.5 months or so, and we will have around about 8 classes. And by that time, we would have covered quite a significant chunk, inshallah, that will help you decode things. And then I want to kind of create a mini Ramadan project for us. I mean, a reason for us to connect during Ramadan and apply those things together or independently, whatever. So that's something that's on my head right now. I'm just thinking about it, what possibly we could do depending upon how far we go. But Ramadan is usually a very good time to materialize your entire learning into actual application of the Quran, because we are generally very motivated in Ramadan towards Quran and everything we do is, inshallah, Allah will give us the rewards. Okay, so everyone is here now. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So what I will do is I will quickly walk you through the wisdom of that ayah that I mentioned to you previously. I'm personally a visual thinker. I like to visualize things as much as possible because that helps me remember. What I normally do is when I'm struggling to explain something or understand something, I try to draw a diagram or I try to do something visual to help me understand that. So I've done that similar thing with this ayah as well, and I think last time few of our friends could not see that. So I normally maintain a document. I've started to build this document that I call Striving for Wisdom. It's my own personal document that I do for visualization purposes. And I have put together this ayah that I showed you last time. I want to walk you through very quickly on that wisdom so we are all aligned. And the reason I want to do that is because we have all gone through the tests. And some might be feeling really good, some might be feeling down. So I really want you to make sure that you really understand what Allah is saying to us here. Yeah, that's the reason I want to walk you through all of that. So last time what we discussed is Innamal Usri Yusra. Let me take the laser pointer here. So I'll just take the laser pointer very quickly. So we discussed the Innamal Usri Yusra last time, right? And this is the ayah that we recite multiple times. Everyone knows this, right? And underneath what you have is basically different types of translations that I've gathered about this ayah. Right? So if you just read through those translations, truly where there is hardship, there is also ease.
Dr. Sal, can you just increase the size, please?
Let me try if I can do that in a second. This is a presentation mode, so let me do this. Okay. Better?
That's better, yeah. That's much better, yeah.
So, so truly where there is hardship, there is also ease. Indeed, with hardship will be ease. Surely with that hardship comes more ease. Most certainly there is ease with hardship. Lo, with hardship goes ease. Verily with hardship there is relief. That is, there is one hardship with two reliefs. So one hardship cannot overcome two reliefs. Verily with every difficulty there is relief. Right. So you see all of these translations bring in one way or the other their own flavor to the understanding of this ayah specifically. And I've taken all of them from this website that is a good friend of mine, quranhive.com. So inshallah, it will become a good friend of yours as well as you grow more and more in the language. But what I want to do here is this ayah, Inna ma'al usri yusra, the original standard structure from grammatical terms of this ayah should have been like this. Inna yusran ma'al usri. And you will learn these. Don't worry about why. Just believe what I'm saying. Okay? Because when you learn the sentence structures, then you will really understand what's happening here. Right now, you won't. You just have to believe me right now. Sorry, you don't have a choice. Just believe me. Okay. So this is one bucket here. These two go together, and ma'al usri go together. There's two buckets in this sentence. So each one of these words, inna means certainly, yusra is an ease, ma'a is with, and al usri is the difficulty. It's talking about specific difficulty here. Okay? So what Allah does here, Allah swaps the places of these terms. So he moves yusran to the end, and he moves this entire bucket to the front of yusra, right after the end. So what he has done is he's made the structure a little abnormal from the standard grammatical terms. You do that in Arabic for various reasons. It's a similar example like you say alhamdu lillah or lillahil hamd. They're same words, but you swap them. Right? And when you swap them and you make the structure abnormal, then it introduces an exclusivity element only. Right? So the word only should have been used in the translation one way or the other. You won't find it here in any of these translations. You won't find that exclusivity. And that is why it's important to understand the language and the structure and understand Quran in the language it is revealed. That's why it's important to learn the language. So if I have to very literally translate this, it would be certainly with the difficulty only is an ease. Okay? There's a comma after only. Okay? Certainly with the difficulty only, there is an ease. Now note, it's the difficulty and it's an ease. Okay? The difficulty is specific, ease is not. Right? So Allah is not telling you what He's going to do with ease. So what are the key wisdoms you get out of this? Number one, remember this ayah is repeated 2 times in this short surah. So Allah is giving you this statement 2 times, right? With the same certainty, with same exclusivity. What you are getting as a wisdom is the ease only comes once you have the hardship, together with the hardship. So if you don't have a hardship, what are you going to ease? Right? So you ease a hardship. If you don't have a hardship, you can't ease anything. So anything that you want to achieve is going to take you through a struggle. Whatever has happened in your life or is happening in your life or will happen in your life will have one way or the other some sort of struggle you go through. Right? And that struggle will result in some sort of ease. Right? So difficulty is part and parcel of life. The second wisdom we get is that you don't know what ease is going to be. So Allah is not telling which specific ease, but He's talking about a specific difficulty that you are facing right now. He's not telling you which specific ease. So it could be any ease, and Allah knows better. Right? So you might be struggling through a path for a specific thing. Allah might give you ease in that path or in some other area where He knows better that it's good for you. Right? So expecting the ease always in the path you're struggling is not the right way of thinking. Expecting the ease is the right way of thinking. And then putting your trust in Allah that wherever He will give me ease, I know that's going to be better for me, but I actually personally do not understand it. That's the way of thinking. Right? So it's a very beautiful ayah, and we've been reciting it all over this time throughout our lives. And when my Ustad first time explained this to me, I was really amazed by how beautiful this is. And so these types of very subtle wisdoms that you get from the Quran can only be possible once you understand the grammatical structure and many other things about the language. So I just wanted to make sure that previously some friends of ours were not here. So I just wanted to repeat that very quickly in a much more visual sense. So all of us understand this. And inshallah, next time you recite, you keep that in mind. Okay. All right. Now I will move to regular class. There are other things, inshallah, we'll keep on talking about in later classes. So what I want to do today is the study of number. We said there are 4 properties of ism: status, number, gender, type, right? And number is the second property. After number, we have gender and type. I personally think that in next 1 to 2 classes, we can get over with all of these properties, right? And then you are done with the fundamentals of ism, understanding that word, and then we move on to the fragments. So these properties should not take us more than next 2 classes max, in my personal opinion. But let's see how you get hold of these things. Okay, what is a number? So you have been doing few things. You have been doing Muslimun, then you have been doing Muslimani, for example. Muslimani. You've been doing Muslimani, then you've been doing Muslimuna. Okay. So what have you been doing so far is you look here to this meme and you know it's singular. Yeah, you know it's 1. You look at this ending combination, ani, you know it's 2. And you look at this ending combination, you know it's multiple, right? 3 plus. Just like that, Muslimaini and Muslimina, you also know. So you have been touching upon number anyway, since the time we started the Muslim chart. So you know that there is something singular, pair, and plural. So I don't have to tell you that. So number actually has 4 topics we want to discuss. 2 of them you already know. So the first topic in number is Muslim chart masculine. That's the first topic. So because you know the Muslim chart masculine, you know every ism that maps to that Muslim chart. You can tell if it is singular, pair, or plural. You know how to identify singular with ending sound. You know how to identify with ending combination, pair and plural. So that was the first topic which you already have done actually as part of your status studies. So there is nothing more to teach there. Then you have Muslim chart feminine. If I gave you samawatun, you probably would tell me this is feminine and it is ending combination and it's plural. It's 3 plus. Just like that, you will tell me muslimatani. It's the same concept, right? That's the second topic. So identifying the number, singular, pair, or plural in the feminine case. You've done that already, right? So there's nothing to teach there. The fourth topic is broken plural. That's what we will discuss today. Broken plural. Okay. Just like flexibility initially, it might look a little bit tricky, but it's not as tricky as flexibility. Okay. But inshallah, in 1 or 2 runs, you will be really comfortable with this. So that's what I'm going to start with. And the fourth topic is plural by meaning. This is less of a topic, more of just information I need to provide you, 1-2 lines of information, which I will do inshallah after broken plural. And then you're done with the study of numbers. So our study today is going to be broken plural, this one. Okay. So let's start broken plural. Okay. Now I'm going to write few words here. And I want you to tell me the plural of each of these words. The plural of car would be what?
Cars.
Cars. Oh, I've already written books, so it's books. Then tree is going to be trees, chair is going to be chairs, house is going to be houses. So what you are doing here, effectively, you're adding an S. You're adding an S in front of these words, but is the original word intact? The word that was original, car, it's still intact, right? Nothing has changed here. Now imagine if you have a friend like me whose English is not really good, and he wants to learn English from you. And he comes to you and said, I understand that in English, you make things plural by putting an S. So I went to the dentist and I said, I have a problem with my tooth. And doctor doesn't understand. Yeah. And then I found many mouses in my house. Yeah. And I have many gooses roaming around in my park. Yeah. And then I have many sheeps. I have many fishes. And so on and so forth. What's happening here? The standard formula of English to add an S doesn't work, right? It doesn't work with these types of words. Let me tell you another thing. The standard in English, you have S that you add generally as a standard. We add an S in English to make words plural. That's what we do, right? In Arabic, what you have learned, we add, for example, ani, we add aini, we add una, and we add, so this was aini, and then we have ina. These ending combinations are an S in Arabic. Get the point? So when you see the ism and you add one of these in the end, you are actually doing similar thing like adding an S. You take Muslim and you add una to it, it becomes plural. Or ina to it, it becomes plural. You add ani to it or aini to it, it becomes dual. You're changing it from singular to more than singular, pair or plural. These are S's of Arabic. And they apply on standard words that follow the standard structure and the rules. But there are outlaws like this. Outlaws like this. What's the plural of tooth?
Teeth.
Teeth. Mouse, mice.
Mice.
Goose, geese. I'll skip sheep. Oh, sheep. Okay, let's keep it sheep. Sheep and sheep. No, it's not sheep, fish. Fish, right? So I'll skip these ones for now because they are not as important as these ones. So what you have done, tell me one thing. Is the original word intact? Is tooth still intact? What you have done, you have broken the tooth. Not literally, of course, the word tooth. Okay. So the plural, which is made by breaking the original form of word, is called a broken plural. Right? It breaks the original form of the word. Okay? Original form of the word. Okay? Same with mouse and mice, goose and geese, and so on. You have similar words like this. Let me give you one example in Arabic. You all know the word Rasul. Rasulun. Right? You all know Rasulun. Okay? So the plural of Rasulun is not Rasulani or Rasuluna. It's Rusulun. It's Rusulun. What have you done? You have taken the vowel off, haven't you? Have you maintained the original form? No. You've broken the original form of the word. So this word is a broken plural in Arabic. They're literally called broken plural in Arabic, Jamaat Taksir. I'm not giving you terminology, but they're called broken plural because of the very reason they break the original form of the word. Another example. Rajulun means a man. Rajulun means a man. Rijalun means men. Many men. What have you done? You have added an alif in this case. That actually broke the original form. Right? So whenever you are altering the original form one way or the other, either in itself or in the plural, by adding or removing something, that plural is a broken plural. That is a fundamental concept. Okay? Is the principle clear? Any questions on the principle itself, the concept? Right. Now, there are a few characteristics we need to keep in mind. And broken plurals are vastly used in the Quran. There are lots of broken plurals in the Quran. Okay, you will find lots of them. Now, what I'm telling you now, pay close attention to this. Broken plurals look like singular isms, aren't they? Some of you might be thinking, how do we differentiate?
That's people confused.
I'm coming to that, I know. So they look like singular isms, right? So the question is, how do we know it's a broken plural? Okay. So the question is, how do we know it's a broken plural? No, the answer to this is, and wait for the answer to complete, okay? We do not know, okay? We do not know it's a broken plural until we know the meaning. Stop there. Don't tell me, oh, do we have to memorize everything? No, stop there. Okay? You can't identify an ism as a broken plural until you know its meaning. It's as simple as that. The question of building the vocabulary and making a full list of broken plurals in your mind is a separate topic. Don't go there yet. Okay? Stay with me. So we have to be fundamentally aligned on whenever we see a singular looking ism, there is a chance it can be a broken plural. So from this point on, from today onwards, whenever you see a singular ism, you should be thinking, is it just mapping directly to the Muslim chart, or is it a broken plural? Okay. Now you're graduated from that stage. Now you're in above levels. So I'm going to give you a bit more to grasp and digest. Okay. Now, at this point in time, where we are, okay, I will provide you the meaning. When I give you the broken plural, I will provide you the meaning, okay, for you to process it. Over time, those meanings will become second nature to you, right? What is a broken plural of the word rusul?
Rusulun.
Rusulun. It has become a second nature to you now that you know, right? Next time you see the word rusulun, you know it's not singular. That's what I'm talking about, right? So as I provide you those meanings, as we go through our learning journey, those will become part of your daily exercise of remembering them, instead of you rote memorizing broken plurals lots lots of the time. So we'll go one by one, one by one. There is no rush, right? So, but whenever you see a singular looking ism, there is a chance it can be a broken plural. In your exercises, when you see a singular looking ism given together with its meaning, then look at the meaning closely. Okay, so it can be a broken plural. Okay. So if the concept is clear, the next concept is how do we treat the broken plurals? Now this is where we have to start thinking like an Arab instead of an English or Urdu speaker. Okay? And I'm going to give you a few things that will absolutely not make any logical sense to you. Okay? They will not make any logical sense to you, but for an Arab, they make absolute logical sense. So you're learning an Arabic language. We normally speak in English, think in English and Urdu and all of that. We don't think in Arabic. So once we start to think in Arabic, they will make logical sense to us. Okay? So I'm going to give you a few things which will not make that logical sense, but stay with me. Okay. When you see a broken plural, wait a second before I give that. I'm going to categorize broken plurals in two categories, okay? Two types of broken plurals. Okay? Type number one, human plurals. Plurals whose meaning translate into intelligent beings. Okay, so these are intelligent beings. And in Arabic, in our particular scope of work, intelligence means humans, angels, jinns. Humans, angels, jinns. It doesn't have a dog or a donkey or a horse. Okay? It's only humans, angels, and jinns. Okay? Non-human, that's the second category. Everything else. Okay? So when I give you a broken plural, that translates into a human, either humans or angels or jinn, that we categorize as a human broken plural. And everything else we say is a non-human broken plural. Clear? Simple so far. Let me test you on this. We all know an ism, masjid. What's the plural of masjid?
Masajid.
Masajid. It's not masjiduna, right? It's masajid. You have broken the original word by adding an alif. Masajid. Is masajid human or non-human?
Non-human.
It's non-human, right? Okay. Is rusulun human or non-human?
Human.
Human, right? Is rijalun human or non-human?
Human.
Human, right? So whenever you see a plural that translates into human or non-human, you treat them a bit differently. Okay? But they are plurals. Okay? That's why we're studying them in the number property of innocence. They're plurals. Okay? Now that we have known this, I will take one of them each time and I will help you understand how we treat them grammatically, because it's very important. There are some words, for example, like the word kafir. Oh, kafir. Now, kafir has a normal plural, which is kafiruna. Yeah. But it also has a plural called kuffar. We all know that, right? Kuffar. That's also kafirs, disbelievers. Allah uses different plural for different reasons in the Quran. Right? And we study that when we go into the balagha study, the rhetoric study. So once we are done with the grammar, then we go into that study. Okay? Or maybe let me just put it like this, when we are a little bit more advanced than where we are, then we can start picking up on those topics. Right now, they would just mean French to us. Okay? We won't get it. I hope nobody speaks French in the team today. If you do, then my example is invalidated. Or Chinese, maybe. Okay? Right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick each of these categories, human and non-human, and I'm going to explain you how do we treat them. Okay? So let me pick the non-humans. Non-human broken plurals. Shall we call them non-human broken plurals? Okay. Right. This one is easy. Okay. So whenever you see a non-human broken plural, assign it. Now this is where the logic goes away. Okay? Assign it singular feminine. Okay? Assign it singular feminine. What is the gender I'm going to assign to this? The status is Rafa. The number is 1. The gender is feminine. That's what I'm going to do with it. In my head, it doesn't make sense because I'm talking about so many masjids. But I'm grammatically saying it's 1 and it's feminine. Okay? Why? Because thousands of years ago, Arabs had a barbecue and they decided this is how it's going to be. Of course, we have all the right to go to Saudi embassy and complain, but nothing's going to change. Okay? So this is what we have to live with. This is language. Okay? This is a rule that doesn't make any logical sense, but this is how an Arab thinks. Okay? So we have to embrace it like that. Okay? So whenever you see a broken plural that is a non-human, you can assign it singular feminine. I'm going to remove the R just so we focus on the number and the gender here. Singular feminine. Clear so far?
One thing I didn't understand. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Sorry. This singular, when we said that the masajidun is a full form of masjid, right? Which means that this is more than one, right?
Yes.
Then why we are masajidun as singular?
Because Arabs had a barbecue thousands of years ago and they decided. There is no logical reason for that. There is no logical answer. This is how this language works. Okay. There is a concept I'll teach you now that you've brought it. Inshallah, it's called because the Arabs said so. Because the Arabs said so. I personally like to call it BAS. Okay. There will be many things we will have to just accept because as part of the language rules because the Arabs said so.
Okay. Because
there may not be reasons for that. Okay. And it's just like, for example, if car is cars, why is not tooth? Is there a reason? Because the English said so, right? That's what it is. So there is no logical, in languages, you will find these things a lot in almost every language. There are rules which have been inherently part of the language, and there is no logical rationale that we understand about them today. It's a language. That's how language works. Okay. So as for us as English and Urdu speakers, we have to acquaint our minds to this. I know it sounds illogical, but when you see a broken plural, which is non-human, we are assigning it singular feminine grammatically.
My question was only, I was getting confused. On one side, we use the word plural, but when we are assigning it singular. So that's what I was just trying to clarify.
Because when you assign singular feminine, it's a grammatical assignment. But when you're thinking logically, you're thinking many, right? You're thinking many masjid, and that's why it's plural. In grammatical assessment, you assign it singular feminine. Okay. Now,
finally, just one question. I joined a bit late, but the question I had is why we have to map it to a Muslim chart to start with.
Why do we have to map?
Map this non-human broken plurals to a Muslim chart.
You're not mapping it to the Muslim chart.
No, I mean, not really mapping, but like we are saying here, that we need to think of it as a singular feminine. What?
No, I'm not saying it's singular feminine because it looks like a singular.
No. Yeah, but we said that we need to think of, if we have to map it, we need to map it to the singular feminine. But the question is that why we need to map it to a Muslim chart or a singular feminine?
No. We're not mapping it to the Muslim. If it was singular feminine, it should have been masajidatun.
Yeah.
Right? So we're not mapping it to the feminine chart at all. And neither we are mapping it to the masculine chart.
Mustafa, we are studying numbers. We are studying numbers today, and that's why we are mapping.
Yes, but okay. Yes, we are studying numbers, but maybe I'm not putting it right. But why?
I warned you guys. Look, Mustafa. Forget the Muslim chart. Throw them out of the window for now. Right? Yeah. There is no discussion of the Muslim chart. This is an independent discussion where I'm giving you a new word that may look like something in the Muslim chart, but it actually does not map there.
Yeah.
It's not a member of that community, right? It's a different word. And this word does not map to any singular or any pair column of the Muslim chart. If it had to map, it had to map to a plural column of the Muslim chart. And that's where it's complete misfit. You see, we had combinations there and there is no combination here, right? So you can't apply this to Muslim chart. So if you're thinking that they are mapping to Muslim chart, leave that thought. They're not mapping to Muslim chart. It's a brand new concept. Okay, don't confuse that. Now I want to.
One question. Yeah. So that means we will be. I guess we will be using that word going forward when we make sentences. I guess so. So we have to see this word as a singular feminine, right?
Singular feminine. Correct. Correct. Okay. Now, what about the word? If I give you, for example, samawatin. Samawat, skies, right? Does that map to any Muslim chart?
Muslimatun.
Feminine Muslimatun.
It maps to the feminine Muslim chart, right? What I'm going to do now is another thing to make you a little bit more confused, because I enjoy things doing that way, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see, whenever you see a non-human plural, assign it singular feminine. But all this time we have been assigning samawatun what? Plural feminine.
3 plus feminine.
Plural feminine. That's what we have been taught, and that's what we have been doing. And now we're saying whenever you see a non-human plural, assign it singular feminine. Okay? That's what I'm teaching you right now. Okay? So whenever you find a non-human plural like this, that maps to the feminine chart, what you have learned, assigning it 3 plus feminine, is absolutely correct, because it forms a regular structure in the grammar. It's a regular ism, right? That maps to those charts. But then you get an option to assign it singular feminine as well, because it is a non-human. So you assign either of the two, it's fine. Okay? It's fine. So whenever you have a non-human plural that maps to a feminine Muslim chart, you will always have two answers. One is closing your eyes, assigning it singular feminine, then closing your eyes, assigning it 3 plus feminine. But when you have an ism that does not map to a Muslim chart in the plural section at all, and it's a broken plural, then you only assign it singular feminine. Okay, I'll summarize this for you guys. I know it's a little bit to take in the beginning, but it gets easy. Okay, so what we are saying is, when you see a non-human plural, I'm not saying broken, okay? When you see a non-human plural, you can always assign it singular feminine, okay? Okay, regardless as a broken plural or the one that maps to the Muslim chart, feminine Muslim chart. Digest this. When you see a non-human plural, regardless as a broken plural or the one that maps to the feminine Muslim chart, I'll tell you why I'm not saying masculine. You can always assign it singular feminine. Digest this statement first. Okay. Any questions?
Can you just correct that, Dr. Sam, on your screen? Where you said man, it should be maps.
Oh, okay. Of course, maps.
Fadil, when you say in the last sentence, always assign it, do you mean assign it or map it? As in, by assign, do you mean you can change it?
If I ask you what is the gender of this word, you're going to tell me feminine. If I ask you if it is what is the number of this word, you're going to tell me it's 1. Okay?
Got it.
That's what I mean. Okay? You will know. Sorry, you will know why we are doing this when you start to do the fragments. Okay. Ji, question?
Does this rule apply to masculine chart as well? If we see any non-human plural in the masculine too?
I'm coming to that, because give me few more minutes.
Is this only mapped to the 3 plus plural, or this map to the pair as well, or feminine?
Plural is plural, right? In Arabic, there's no pair is different from plural.
So it's mean that
it's either 3 plus or singular.
Yeah.
Feminine.
Muslimatan, Muslimatani, Muslimatun, right? So Muslimatani or Matun, both are coming under this.
If I had done something like this, for example, masajidan, right? then it would be similar to something like this. Because in masajidan is nasab, and in Muslim chart feminine, it's nasab like that, right? Okay. Right. Now I'm going to give you another statement, and I want you to digest that, and then I'll answer Waqas Bhai's question. Okay? If you see a non-human plural that maps to the feminine Muslim chart, you can also assign it 3 plus feminine. Digest this. When you have a non-human plural, and it maps to the Muslim chart, you can assign it 3 plus feminine. When I give you samawatin or samawatun like this, and I ask you what's the number, you can tell me, Fahad bhai, it can either be 1 or it can be 3 plus. There are two answers. And it will be feminine anyway. So whenever you have a non-human that maps to a feminine Muslim chart, you will get two answers. When you have a non-human that looks like a standard singular ism, you will only have one answer. Now you know why I told you inna malu yusri yusra in the beginning of the class.
Sorry for asking this again.
Yes, no problem.
The feminine pair, there is no. Now we are thinking that now we are saying that the feminine pair is also 3 plus plural, because you said that any plural is.
We always knew Talha, that feminine plural are 3 plus feminine. Anyway, we knew that already, right? What we did not know is when those plurals are non-human, then you can also assign them 1F. This is what we did not know. All right. Okay. So what I'm telling you is whenever you see a non-human plural and it does not map on the feminine Muslim chart or any Muslim or a plural section of the feminine Muslim chart, of course, then you can just assign it 1F. If you see a non-human plural that maps to a feminine Muslim chart, then you have two answers, either 1F or 3 plus F. That's what I'm telling you. Okay. Now back to question of Waqas bhai. What about the masculine Muslim chart? That was a question, Waqas bhai, right? The answer to that question is all isms that map to the masculine Muslim chart are used for people. Are used for people, one way or the other. Okay, so there is no non-human possibility in the masculine human chart, Muslim chart. Okay, so you won't have a word which is non-human. You might have an example coming in your mind. For example, we've discussed it previously. Alamina. Right? Alamina. Worlds. Right? This worlds effectively means nations, communities, and I've done lots of research on this, which is all made up of what? People. Okay? The actual physical thing, which is the world, Earth itself, as a planet, for that the word is awalim. Where's the awalimun, which is a broken plural. Now this means Earth, or world, worlds, not even Earths. Now, worlds as in physical planetary worlds, galaxies and stuff. Is it a human or a non-human?
Non-human.
It's non-human, right? And if it's non-human, you will assign it singular feminine. Why would you assign it singular feminine? Because first, it's non-human, of course, and it also doesn't map to the feminine Muslim chart, right? So you can't assign it anything else. It's just singular feminine.
If it had mapped to the feminine Muslim chart in plural, then I would have given either 1F or 3F. Either.
Correct.
I could have said either. Yeah. Clear.
Right? All right. All right. So what I'll do is I'll share this document with you all, so you have that in your reports, inshallah. Think about it. Read through it. I know this concept takes little while to just digest, because this is not how we are trained and brought up to think. It's a different language altogether, completely different. If you learn to go Japanese and Chinese, they are symbolic languages. They don't even have A, B, C. They have symbols. It's a different way of thinking, right? So it's a different way of thinking with Arabic as well. And inshallah, by the next class, it will be very, very clear. So I'm not going to touch on human today, of course, because it's going to be too much. Okay.
Well,
All right. If there's no further questions, then inshallah, I'll leave you to it. Inshallah, I'll share these documents with you. I'll also bring this video online and you can watch it again. If there's any question, let's continue on WhatsApp. If you want another session prior to the next session, happy to do that as well. No problem. We can set up an extra time to do all of this. All right.
thank you. Jazakallah, Dr.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Um,